Sanji Judan Zonjin Jonam Lai Shancha Bado Dano Jasam Ji Daka Chishi Jibe Sonam Ji Rola Benjara Sanji and Brush Sanji Judan Zonjin Jonam Lai Shancha Bado Dano Jasam Ji Daka Chishi Jibe Sonam Ji Rola Benjara Sanji and Brush Sanji Judan Zonjin Jonam Lai Shancha Bado Dano Jasam Okay. Good evening again.
Good evening as well.
Okay. You guys look very good. Okay. Okay, it's wonderful. Now today we're going to practice. 아니 가르치려고. 다 드린 것도 똥샤던데 왜 창사해야 되다.
All right, so we're going to do a prostration in relation to this 35 Buddhas practice.
아니 다 차저변에 리지 차차월라 때니 리단데빈 아니 니바데 탄도요래.
And so by making prostration with your body, so you purify the negativities created by body.
아니 칸에 똥샤던발라 때니 아니 나네 사시비티 바데 탄도요래.
And by reciting the 35 Buddhas' names verbally, you purify the negativities created by your speech.
아니 샘라야 똥샤가 나서지 송아디가 고소투 연대 대해지메고니 제바이나 야마나 아니 잠로 샘라 대해지메 제바이나 아니 이지디 바탄도요.
And so mentally, if you make prostrations by thinking about the qualities of the 35 Buddhas, or by remembering the refuge in your mind, then you purify the negativities created by your mind. And so since these are the only three bodies, three doors, through which we create the negative karmas. And then especially making prostration becomes the antidote to the delusion, pride.
And
actually, the meaning of the prostration is also called sweeping. Like sweeping, if you sweep the dirt, your place becomes very air clean. Just like that, by making prostration, you sweep the negativities created by your body, speech, and mind.
And then
so also there's a additional meaning to that, which means to receive the blessings of the Buddha to whom you are making the prostration.
And the chance of a subo de have subo mambo pe tonda tata mambo pe Zambiliga say that you can't have a park to chores, then you some chores subo there.
And when you make prostration, you can emanate like countless bodies, like as many as the atoms in this world. You can emanate to that many number, and then imagine all these bodies making prostration together.
And this was Tankada Nyambe Simchi Shambaya Suso Nyamdo Shantari Yosabana gave it Chagaris.
And also, if you can imagine all sentient beings around yourself making prostration with you, if you can think like that, that'll be even more meritorious.
Okay, teach. Tenea and Nana Susu Bena Tonshan Royana and the Tetu Kalaya, Simchi Shambatu, Suso Naji in the Korko, some Kering Ramada, Chuteno, get Manjama, Kenyamo, Susu Namjula Koyo and somebody.
And then as you recite the prayers of the 35 Buddha, you can also imagine all sentient beings around you are reciting with you at the same time, with you, you're leading, and they're all reciting with you. So there's a prostration, there's like the half prostration and full prostration, prostration and full prostration. So the full prostration is where you touch the whole part of your body on the ground.
아니 다 구샤스나 아니 비모니 라바니 빼고 어디 살았어 아니 구샤스.
And then the short prostration, or we call it bending prostration, is where you bend your body and just touch the five limbs, like the two legs, two hands, and the head.
아니 차차고가 깜바 파트 맞죠. 깜바 냠도 샤고. 다데 시다 세던데 야보진다. 깜바니 파 냠도 샤고래.
So when you make prostration, the 2 feet should be like not too apart from each other, but comfortably close with each other.
아니 라반도 시다 저도 시가라. 라페 테메데 누구 나라 많이 통고래.
And then when you make prostration, so you can follow Geshe-la's gesture. So your thumbs has to be tucked inside your palm.
테모 나라 맞죠데 아닌데 나 똥바 많이 반송고요.
So the tucking the palm, the thumb inside the palm, makes the palm full, not like doesn't leave it empty.
아니 라반도 시가다 노르번 송고요. 노르버.
And the hand in that position, symbolizes jewel.
아니 라반데 치어데 시다 규점 송고요. 규점 넣으시네요.
And then also like folding hands together like that also symbolizes respect.
도스치는 주바장이 파시요 말에.
So like people usually don't fight, with their hands folded together.
제가 파시 라반도 시에서 파시 고 규점 송고요.
And so once you fold your hand together, that also symbolizes respecting.
안도 저는 안에 라바 담보 내려 샤는데 빼고 내려 샤고 그래서. 잡로판도 파샤면 내 내려 샤고 그래서.
And then first, you place it on top of your head, on your crown.
산지가 위 student에게 파샤샤고 그래 파샤.
And so that leaves the imprint in your mind to achieve Buddha's patrician.
근데 내려 샤고 근데 가시 샤고했는데 샤바이나 아니 산지가 제프 산지라 믹스만 말아봐지 된저야게 아니 파샤샤고 그래.
And then you place it on the head, on the forehead. That's like it says there's a coil hair that is called the wisdom hair of the Buddha. So that also leaves the imprint to achieve that wisdom hair.
아니 근데 다 내려 샤고 딱 깨고 내려 샤고 그래.
Then after that, you place it at your throat.
근데 대가 산지가 송저야게 파샤샤고 그래.
And that leaves imprint to achieve Buddha's holy speech.
아니 근데 닝가 샤고 그래.
And then you place it at the heart.
대가 산지가 투저야게 파샤샤고 그래.
And that leaves imprint to achieve Buddha's holy mind.
단다 산지 위 투든데 되게 산지가 끈저게 파샤샤고 그래.
And then the crown, placing your hand on the crown also leaves imprint to achieve Buddha's holy body.
어때 야 안에 소소가 산지가 고소 툭 안에 단 딩대보다 참말아 양 기십 제와양 총고래.
And then also it becomes respect, to paying respect, to Buddha's body, speech, holy body, holy speech, holy mind, and the patrician and the wisdom hairs.
아니 대내 라반 노치마 사자 라반이 노치는 마 노치 샤고 그래 샤당대 노치는 샤야 말에 노치 샤고 그래 내려지는 샤요 말에.
Palms, closely, and
like
fingers
like
close with each other, not like fingers spreading. Or not creating a feast.
And the Richie Kala Susu Samna no more to some Susu and the water man name go something go yours.
And so when you go down on their palm, and then you imagine that it's pressing down all the three poisonous delusions.
And today up and the Tasha was the Yamaka Yama near the near the Katoya Kapu and Uncle.
So when you do the full prostration, you stretch your full body on the ground, and as you stretch, you should not lie down there for a long time, out of laziness. You should get up immediately. Soon after you touch the ground, then you get up.
Okay. And then Yama Laba the Salasha Tasha Yang Tasha Shavakala Yang so the Laban do Yachi to Yang Kiship Chuntongo, keep it on over. Gushala Mare.
So once you have, when you do the full prostration, you stretch your body, the hand all the way up from the head, and then again you fold it back, on the head. That also symbolizes respecting again.
Okay. What is it? And that's the Mamoshi Mochi. And Tapaji Chudo Machi by the Chanta the sugar water Kaji.
So I think that's about it. Don't have to say so much. Also, you already know, and most of you already know how to make prostrations, right?
Nguni action rache ta yang tene ko subo dewo me tene na yang ko dene ko labang du chene ko te cheyo nu che cho yin ko ndo ngi cho ja yer was.
Yeah, so we're doing this practice in action. But if you are not physically fit to do that, then you can just sit down and if you're able, then just move your hand like that.
Oya ta 당봉도 tene ta de nge rimba man da ni che 당봉도 창문에 사 창 소통에 강의 받에 니 알면 창 되셔 와.
And so now
당보 차 맞으면 되죠. 다도 차 맞으면 도 지금 난도 디다다 라마라 좀 저거 상하지로 좀 디가라 다 동사가 하서 좀 송하데 수준 될래요 삼고래.
And then as we make the prostration, so now we're going to do stand up and make prostration. So those of you who can stand up, who are physically fit to do, you can stand up and do that. And so first, you start, with the the languages, right?
디다다 라마라 좀 저거
So like as you say, as you say throughout all times, take refuge in the Guru. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. Then you can visualize. The all 35 Buddhas.
오케이. 다인 단단 놓야 되는 게 저도 놓야 생지 마시 놓야 되는 게 요스.
And so don't worry about reciting. You can just do the prostration. Geshe will recite.
오케이. 디다다 라마라 잡슴 제보 상제라 잡슴 제보 추라 잡슴 제보 겐단라 잡슴 제보. This is the refuge, okay? Now we start, okay? Now fourth Buddha. Tomba chomdende tejen shaba ra chomba yang tabar zobe sanje riba dang shabsa temba. Oh, sorry, I'm going to read this once. Okay. Tomba chomdende tejen shaba ra chomba yang tabar zobe sanje be jawa shacha toba la chansalo. Chomdende tejen shaba da chomba. Sorry, I'm going to wrong place. Tejen shaba doje nyumbo rabdo jomba la chansal. Tejen shaba rinche wonchu la chansal. Tejen shaba Lwangi jabola chanzalo, tejen shaba pavu de la chanzal, tejen shaba pe je la chanzal, tejen shaba rinchen me la chanzal, tejen shaba rinchen dagwe la chanzal, tejen shaba tongwa teye la chanzal, Tejen shaba rinchen dawa la chantal. Tejen shaba chuma meba la chantal. Tejen shaba pejan la chantal. Tejen shaba tsamba la chantal. Tejen shaba tsambeshan la chantal. Tejen shaba chula la chantal. Tejen shaba chuli la la chanzal. Tejen shaba pesan la chanzal. Tejen shaba zenden ba la chanzal. Tejen shaba zijen tayi la chanzal. Tejen shaba oe ba la chanzal. Tejen shaba nyangi mebe ba la chanzal. Tejen shaba semeje bala shanzal. Tejen shaba meto bala shanzal. Tejen shaba tsambe oza nambara rob. Ngombaran kembala shanzal. Tejen shaba peme oza nambara rob. Ngombaran kembala shanzal. Tejen shaba nur bala shanzal. Tejen shaba tembe bala chanzal. Tejen shaba tsambare shenda yongda la chanzal. Tejen shaba ombo tok jamsenje jabo la chanzal. 대전 샤바 신더 넘버 넘베 벨라 샤한달 대전 샤바 일리 신더 넘버 자발라 샤한달 대전 샤바 넘버 넘베 셰베 벨라 샤한달로 대전 샤바 끝내 나와 고베 발라 샤한달 대전 샤바 렌체 베마 넘버 넘발라 샤 대전 샤바 다좀바 야타브르 조베 산제 럼보체다 다왈라 페메 랍드 조바 산제 로몽게 자보라 찬살로. I'm finishing one tab. You do start continue prostration, okay? Then you don't have to the refuge. We just say 좀된데 대전 자바 다좀바 야타브르 조베 산제 베자와 자자 더발라 샤달로 대제자바 도제 님보 랍던 점발라 찬달 대제자바 렌제 원트라 찬달 대제자바 로봉기 자볼라 찬달 대제자바 바우 데라 찬달 대제자바 베제라 찬달 대제자바 렌체 메라 찬달 대제자바 렌체 다괴라 찬달 대제자바 통화 대예라 찬달 대제자바 렌체 다와라 찬달 대제자바 드마 메바라 찬달 대제자바 베샹라 찬달 대제자바 참발라 찬달 대제자바 참베샹라 찬달 대제자바 츄라라 찬달 대제자바 츄레라라 찬달 대제자바 베상라 찬달 대제자바 젠데벨라 찬달 대제자바 대젠타예라 찬달 대제자바 월발라 찬달 대제자바 냥에 메베 발라 찬달 대제자바 스메제 발라 찬달 대제자바 메토발라 찬달 대제자바 참베워드 넘버로 원버는 켐발라 찬달 대제자와 빼메워드 넘버로 원버는 켐발라 찬달 대제자바 노르벨라 잔살로 대제자바 템베벨라 찬달 대제자바 참브라 챈더 용 로잔달 대제자바 원보 떡에 잠생지 자보라 찬달 대제자바 챈더 넘버 넘베벨 찬살로 대제자바 일레션 넘버 자발라 찬달 대제자바 넘버 넘비 벨라 대제자바 넘버 넘바 셰베 벨라 찬달 대제자바 끝내 나와 꼬베 발라 찬달 대제자바 렌체 베마 넘버 넘발라 찬달 대제자바 다좀바 야타버어 조 산제 럼보체다 베마라 랍드 조 산제 로몽게 자보라 찬달로. This is second time. We're going to one more time, okay? Yellow Jobson Chevo, Chula Jobson Chevo. From then the Tejan Shaba, Dutch. Bobo, Zobe, Sanjay, Java, Saja, Tobo, Okay. Okay. Okay, now come back. 아니 다 전화 아니 비모츠 매나 아니 다 굴고치네 라바니 탈모지 되고 요레스.
Okay, now if you possible, then kneel down. If not, then you can just fold your hands together and bow slightly.
아니 데니 다 아니 가르나 상지 잔다 동샤가 나서지 송가 수준 되나 여봤음 다 수준 되나야 딘들라 아니 소소가 예바 강사바지 방 문에 지지 아니 데니 쉬라야 아니 가 다니 예바 사가 매사 담자지 담말로 소소 강사베 개와테 도장 모요래.
And so here you declare your negativities and then confess them and then make promise to not repeat that kind of negative karma again. And then at the end, then you dedicate all the merits for the achievement of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings.
오케이. 당연 동교대 준도 배자 준도 솔로 있는 데에 딱 가운데 대달라 저버 휴진지 되는다.
So if you have the text, you can just look at the text and
대달라 저버 휴진지 되세.
So from where it says,
상진 담아도 조사비잖아요.
so after the prostration, and then it says so like this, all those you 35 Buddhas and others, and as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfectly completed Buddhas as they are existing.
Okay, that's it.
So from there on, you can read.
당연 되는 거 지나서 단 이 대리 줘서 제단을 넣거든. 제단에.
So you so just Geshe is just telling you how to do, but you can just read it yourself.
아니 배는 예바로 사이나 다 굴고지네. 그 땅한 예바다 더 배사송도 직제로 대선으로 굴고지네. 셈나 초반으로 여배지네 제고 그래.
So if you can remember any kind of negative karmas that you have created, then you generate sense of regret towards that, thinking that I should not have done that, and then after that then you recite this with slightly bow down.
담보 드링이야 제단동 지나서 깨잔되면 거 같이라.
So Geshe is going to recite as in Tibetan, or you can also look at the English.
대달라 소바 조진지 된지 감 담저나 대전 저바 다좀바라 양다바라 조베 상제강 진예진 토장 주변 토장 슈베 상제 좀 된데 대다 담저 달라 공소설 나그 제와다 당 제와 도미 타나 마지 바당 고바나 고베 제네 샨도 탐쳐도 드베 레제바나 저도 자와다 제발라 제저 여라감 초된지 고름 변된지 고름 쇼제 견된지 공troban 초도 자와나 초발라 제저 여라감 참만제바 멜레제바다 저도 자와다 제발라 제저 여라감 무게바 저 레제 랑양다 와라 와라 주바다 저도 자와 주발라 제저 여라감 Leje Dava Kanga Dava Da Samja Nyawa Chabagum Tendu Chenezo Chabagum Yedaje Yado Chabagum Lalo Chabagum Yentako the Chabagum Lalo Chabagum Lazero Namsa Chabagum Umbo Matsawa Jabagum Tawa Lobran Zamba Jabagum Sanjin Jongwala Never Majeba Jimber Minjibe, Leji, Daba, Kanlaba, Teda, Tamja, Sanje, Chumdende, Yishi, the Java, Shenda, Java, Panda, Java, Zema, Java, Java, Ziba, Tedagi, Shangan, Tolo, Shaso, Shaso, Mchebo, Mbedo, Linchoja, Chunje, Dombraji, Laso. Tene Shinjaja, Lunchi, Dombaji, Laso said the Tangai, Tanding, Hela, Labsha, Niba, the Naoba, Kaya, Chegame, Tamja, Tembo Showers. Tamju, you mood, Tamju mood.
Oh, sorry. So from now on, I'm not going to create any negative karma. So from at that time, then you have to make a strong promise, thinking that I'm not going to repeat such kind of negative karma again. And then you make a promise, especially to not create it intentionally.
다 드니 다야 개왕은 네가 야 샘치 가오도지 땅갈 개왕만 보 모지 요세 야 샘치 가오도지 나도 야 소소지 가로 레칸도 친데 소소고 레카치 보스지 가오체나 텔에 야 야지 개몬도 오셔 가오치지 랍거든.
So that's something, done something that you feel bad about, something you don't like. And so you confess that. And now there's something that you like. So I have something to rejoice, something to be happy about. Like when you, have something, done something good, then, your boss, becomes happy at you, just like that.
제가 단 네가 동작을 나서 저 성화를 같이 쉬어요. 상아 특례지가 쉬어요. 딘도 딘도 삼고다.
And so just like saying, to the 35 Buddhas and all the Buddhas around, I have something good to say.
Okay. 좀 된데 대달라 상제 좀 된데 대다 탐주 달라 공소소 다그 제와한다 당 제와 토미 타나 마제 바나 코와나 코베 제네 전도도 점바 타나 든두 제네서 제와라세 감지 삼자에 개베 자와 강나바 다그 드름 소에 개베 자와 강나바다 다그 참라 제베 개베 자와 강나바다 다그 신대 요자 맘브라 제베 개베 자와 강나바다 다그 장조 샤도 세메 제베 개베 자와 강나바나 다그 라나메 베이 시제 개베 자와 강나바 대다 탐제 지데 디시 domde domne lana mache badan kona mache badan kome yang koma lame yang lama yong song go lana me ba yang dobra jo da yong song go bra je go chetan de be sanje chomde de nam je yong song go ba da chetara ma ju be sanje chomde ne nam je yong song go ran je bra chetara dadra ju be sanje chomde ne nam je yong song go ran za ba te jen da da ge je yong song go bra je o da ti pe on do 아니 지금 내 마음 다다돼서 산지 탐에 가르지 뭐바쳐 가르지 저렇게 장아야테 제일 삼.
And so just like that, you dedicate, all your merit, just like the Buddhas of the past, present, and future, dedicated in a same way. I'll dedicate all my merits.
근데 뒤지라다 연락도 그냥 사마도 들어봐.
And then after that, is the remaining of the 7 limb practices.
아니 되네야 예바들 하여와 옛날야 대양 샤가 인습 내가 탐저는 소들어 저 손놈 탐저라는 제서 여러고 산제 탐저라는 고지에서 나가라나메 베시제 초 담바라 토브라 저지 무조 자와 강다 다들 저 바나 강다다 바 타다데 장고 바 예대가 바 타예 잠소 저가라 탐모셔베 제데 여서녀 원체 오 왔다 동상님네 두체거려 샤타에데 샤가세 사 자자자 샤타데 지들라 아니 주고도마 주고제시는데 그래.
And so this is how you do the practice of the 35 Buddhas. So when you, recite the 35 Buddhas' name, you make prostrations as many times as possible. And then after that, then you do the confession and then the dedication like that. So you have to conclude it in that way. And so when you're doing the prostrations, and you just keep on doing the reciting that part only, the prostration part.
다양 어디 다디 당아도 다 마데네 다 차초 차 야르네 차초 더 매워치 야 마데네 진동이다.
And so now let's recite it once again, by sitting down. Let's say for those of you who are not able to stand up and make prostration, you can just sit down and recite it.
기잡 다 되면고냐. 다 뭐나 전화 소소 당연하지 제네. 도자가 라스 송아 소전 돌아요. 삼지 다 단다 대대 남주 기름자네 야보지 되거든. 비못 주고 말해.
And so when you do it, by sitting down, you sit in the cross-legged position, and and just recite it. You don't have to kneel down or make prostration. You can just fold your hands together and slightly bow.
뭐야. 다 단다 인지한데 전화 말해.
So maybe you can recite in
Okay,
English.
English. 3 times, okay? And Marian, you can do it. She's the, how I say, expert.
I would not say that, Geshe, but thank you.
And you can do that when stop after finish 35, then stop, go back to do, okay?
Back to the
Refuge, you don't have to do all the time. 4 to 3 times, then get to the prostration part. Okay, how much?
I, throughout all times, take refuge in the Guru. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. I, Yeshchoran, throughout all times, take refuge in the Guru. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. I, Yeshchoran, throughout all times, take refuge in the Guru. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. To the founder, Bhagavan, Tathagata, Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni Buddha, I prostrate. To Tathagata, thoroughly destroying with Vajra essence, I prostrate. To Tathagata, radiant jewel, I prostrate. To Tathagata, King, Lord of the Nagas, I prostrate. To Tathagata, army of heroes, I prostrate. To Tathagata, delighted hero, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel fire, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel moonlight, I prostrate. To Tathagata, meaningful to see, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel moon, I prostrate. To Tathagata, stainless one, I prostrate. To Tathagata, bestowed with courage, I prostrate. To Tathagata, pure one, I prostrate. To Tathagata, bestowed with purity, I prostrate. To Tathagata, water god, I prostrate. To Tathagata, deity of the water god, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious goodness, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious sandalwood, I prostrate. To Tathagata, infinite splendor, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious light, I prostrate. To Tathagata, sorrowless glory, I prostrate. To Tathagata, son of non-craving, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious flower, I prostrate. To Tathagata, pure light rays, clearly knowing by play, I prostrate. To Tathagata, lotus light rays, clearly knowing by play, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious wealth, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious mindfulness, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious name, widely renowned, I prostrate. To Tathagata, king holding the victory banner of foremost power, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious one, totally subduing, I prostrate. To Tathagata, utterly victorious in battle, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious transcendence through subduing, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious manifestations illuminating all, I prostrate. To Tathagata, all subduing jewel lotus, I prostrate. To Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, king of the Lord of mountains, firmly seated on jewel and lotus, I prostrate. Start again. To Tathagata, to Tathagata, thoroughly destroying with Vajra essence, To the founder, Bhagavan, Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni Buddha, I prostrate. To Tathagata, thoroughly destroying with Vajra essence, I prostrate. To Tathagata, radiant jewel, I prostrate. To Tathagata, king, lord of the Nagas, I prostrate. To Tathagata, army of heroes, I prostrate. To Tathagata, delighted hero, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel fire, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel moonlight, I prostrate. To Tathagata, meaningful to see, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel moon, I prostrate. To Tathagata, stainless one, I prostrate. To Tathagata bestowed with courage, I prostrate. To Tathagata pure one, I prostrate. To Tathagata bestowed with purity, I prostrate. To Tathagata water god, I prostrate. To Tathagata deity of the water god, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious goodness, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious sandalwood, I prostrate. To Tathagata infinite splendor, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious light, I prostrate. To Tathagata sorrowless glory, I prostrate. To Tathagata son of non-craving, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious flower, I prostrate. To Tathagata pure light rays, clearly knowing by play, I prostrate. To Tathagata lotus light rays, clearly knowing by play, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious wealth, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious mindfulness, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious name, widely renowned, I prostrate. To Tathagata king, holding the victory banner of foremost power, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious one, totally subduing, I prostrate. To Tathagata utterly victorious in battle, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious transcendence through subduing, I prostrate. To Tathagata glorious manifestations illuminating all, I prostrate. To Tathagata all subduing jewel lotus, I prostrate. To Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, king of the Lord of mountains, firmly seated on jewel and lotus, I prostrate. To the founder, Bhagavan Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni Buddha, I prostrate. To Tathagata, thoroughly destroying with Vajra essence, I prostrate. To Tathagata, radiant jewel, I prostrate. To Tathagata, king, lord of the Nagas, I prostrate. To Tathagata, army of heroes, I prostrate. To Tathagata, delighted hero, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel fire, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel moonlight, I prostrate. To Tathagata, meaningful to see, I prostrate. To Tathagata, jewel moon, I prostrate. To Tathagata, stainless one, I prostrate. To Tathagata, bestowed with courage, I prostrate. To Tathagata, pure one, I prostrate. To Tathagata, bestowed with purity, I prostrate. To Tathagata, water god, I prostrate. To Tathagata, deity of the water god, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious goodness, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious sandalwood, I prostrate. To Tathagata, infinite splendor, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious light, I prostrate. To Tathagata, sorrowless glory, I prostrate. To Tathagata, son of non-craving, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious flower, I prostrate. To Tathagata, pure light rays, clearly knowing by play, I prostrate. To Tathagata, lotus light rays, clearly knowing by play, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious wealth, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious mindfulness, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious name, widely renowned, I prostrate. To Tathagata, king, holding the victory banner of foremost power, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious one, totally subduing, I prostrate. To Tathagata, utterly victorious in battle, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious transcendence through subduing, I prostrate. To Tathagata, glorious manifestations illuminating all, I prostrate. To Tathagata, all subduing jewel lotus, I prostrate. To Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, king of the Lord of mountains, firmly seated on jewel and lotus, I prostrate.
다들 심을 다 당겨나지 tes 속단으로 testre 아니 요바다 제베거는 안되는 예반들의 사서 예바도 다 마용과 체대 아니 센로 나가서 다 만들다.
And now do the confession prayer. With, like I said before, with a strong regret. So, so I have done this and this, negative karmas. So, for feeling bad about it with a strong regret, and then recite this part.
Okay.
All those, you 35 Buddhas and others, as many Tathagatas, Arhats, perfectly completed Buddhas, as they are existing, sustaining, and residing in all the world systems of the 10 directions, all you Buddha Bhagawans, please pay attention to me. In this life, and in all the states of rebirth in which I have circled in samsara throughout beginningless lives, whatever negative actions I have created, made others create, or rejoiced in the creation of, whatever possessions of the stupas, possessions of the Sangha, or possessions of the Sangha of the 10 directions that I have appropriated, made others appropriate, or rejoiced in the appropriation of. Whichever among the 5 actions of immediate retribution I have done, caused to be done, or rejoiced in the doing of. Whichever parts of the 10 non-virtuous actions I have engaged in, caused others to engage in, or rejoiced in engaging in. Whatever I have created, being obscured by these karmas, causes me and sentient beings to be born in the hell realms, in the animal realm, and in the preta realm, in irreligious countries, as barbarians or as long-life gods, with imperfect faculties, holding wrong views, or not being pleased with the Buddha's descent. In the presence of the Buddha Bhagavans, who are transcendental wisdom, who are eyes, who are witnesses, who are valid, and who see with omniscient consciousness, I am admitting and confessing all these negativities. I will not conceal nor hide them. And from now on in the future, I will abstain and refrain from committing them again.
So at that point, where you say, will abstain from creating them again, and so you should make a very strong promise in your mind to not create that again. So when you recite it with really strong regret, where you feel like tears coming out of your eyes and you get a goosebump in your body, then that's a really good sign of really getting purified the negativities. But if you don't get strong feeling like that, then you don't get much purification done. So yeah, like when you wash the dishes, nowadays you just put in a dishwasher, so you don't really see it, right? But otherwise, like if you are, when you're washing the dish, especially like that, which has become black, with the smoke, from the fire, then you have to rub it really strong, and the more more you rub, more dirt it will come. There will come, and then that shows that when you see the dirt coming, then that shows that it's getting cleaned. If you don't see the dirt coming, then it's not getting cleaned, like that.
Okay. 다지. 제대로지. 다되는 게 다디 쇼다 양지 샘 가지 쪼지잖아. 당 양알아야 아니 저기 동샤사 심지 송아데 투제하게 자와제분 초대된 거 나가요선 아니 되는 마수수 개와데 막 뭐야레스.
Now then the next part, you express it happily, all these positive karmas that you have created, right? So by doing so and so and so forth, so you can say about all this and then dedicate all those merits.
Okay. Yep.
All Buddha Bhagavans, please pay attention to me. In this life and in all other states of rebirth in which I have circled in samsara throughout beginningless lives, whatever roots of virtue I have created by generosity, even as little as giving just one mouthful of food to a being born in the animal realm, whatever roots of virtue I have created by guarding morality, whatever roots of virtue I have created by following pure conduct, whatever roots of virtue I have created by fully ripening sentient beings, whatever roots of virtue I have created by generating bodhicitta, and whatever roots of virtue I have created by my unsurpassed transcendental wisdom, all these assembled and gathered, combined together, I fully dedicate to the unsurpassed, the unexcelled, that higher than the high, that superior to the superior. Thus I completely dedicate to the highest, perfect, complete enlightenment. Just as the previous Buddha Bhagavans have fully dedicated, just as the future Buddha Bhagavans will fully dedicate, and just as the presently abiding Buddha Bhagavans are fully dedicating, like that, I too dedicate fully. I confess all negativities individually. I rejoice in all the merits. I urge and implore all Buddhas to grant my request. May I receive the highest, most sublime transcendental wisdom. To the conquerors, the best of humans, those who are living in the present time, those who have lived in the past, and those who will likewise come, to all those who have qualities as vast as an infinite ocean, with hands folded, I approach for refuge.
뭐다 들으려고 그래. 다 동사냐는 진짜 두스리. 다 땡아도 제바로 그러고. 다 들려야 차 뭐서 대한 소설을 된다. 동사 나서 안가 상지 될라 가고도 선배야. 셴바 스템 거지 대치부에 차서는 거.
And so that's how you do the 35 Buddha practice. And so when you're reciting the 35 Buddha's name, then you make the prostration. And if there is one particular one, that you feel more connected with, then you can just think of that on, and then just think of making prostration to only that one as many times as possible.
못하지. 아니 주구마다 단당한도 예바야 아니 파 딱으로 클렌치야다. 아니 지생 어디서 차 남주 제디 가지나 마 사칭도나 야보요래. 다 맞들라.
And so you repeat the prostration part, as many times as you can. You can repeat, one time. You can do all 35 one time, and then next 35, and however many times you can do, or just once. Then once you have done that, then you go through the confession and the dedication part.
오케이. 다네 소소가 냠내 셴바단 데나 되게 냠내 셴바단 만데나 코너 쭈보시나 되게 가디줘나 되게.
So this practice, you can do it in conjunction with other practices, or you can do it by yourself also.
아니 데 가디줘나 되게.
You can do it anytime.
Okay. 아니 yeah, like that. Also this text 단당가도 대비도 진도 대나야 대샤도. 아니 단다 때문에 가서 캠버기 시소래. 대 웹사이트 룩쇼다 야 파티 주마 가지고 갑투 스톰샷 주범명이네. 야 가지야 된대야 가고 용거래. 펜도로.
And then connotations.
단다 되나 때도 para tudo. 단다 드링가도 내한테 para tudo. 셴바들 para 셴바들 tudo. 너마 셴바들 도.
알레레, 저 두더 줘야 말해.
para 만데마들 도.
요 말이요. 맞아. 단단 남지 동시 때 왔다 하래. 자동도.
주 팀만 팀을 셴바면 돼.
맨날.
알레라. 다되면은 되셔.
다들 담보 차사들에 담보자 따서 숨성화 하숨성화 사사 되잖아요. 다 대샤차들에 되잖아요. 뭐지 다래.
알레라. 단된 되면 되셔. 야야. 어디 대창서 소소 아니 폰나 컴퓨터 파 아니 다운로드 체 아니 쇼나 아니 동사 하슴 정가 마주나 찍 미들로 섬 가디나 아니 뎁다도 먹고서 야 보여.
So when you do this practice, of the purification, downfall, through the 35 Buddhas, then you recite the 35 Buddha names, and then you do the, do the confession part where you declare all your negativities, and then you do the rejoicing, and then dedication part, right? And so when you do that, you can do the whole thing like that, or you can, like I said earlier, if you find one you are more close with or fond of, then you can just have that one and then make prostration to that one all the time. So you can have this prayer available to yourself and on your smartphone or on any other smart devices, and then recite it, let it recite, or you can recite it yourself and do the prostrations.
아니 동사가 하서 좀 성하게 미대 소소 마셔 존재라야. 근데 참아 로로 섬야가 소소 섬아 담자잖아. 아니 갈래 로로 섬도리. 소소 로로 섬야기 아니 가르고. 샘슈도 치는면 아주 가디나 섬고 말아.
And so you should remember the name of at least one of these 35 Buddhas and then make prostration. And of course, if you can remember all of them, that's very good. So you should make this commitment, to memorize, all these 35 Buddhas' names. If you make a commitment, then you will memorize it. If you don't make a commitment, then you will not do it, right? So that's right.
나와치나 산지 찍을 아니 센터 로로 섬는 데.
And so that's why you can. That's why if you make a commitment, then you will do it, right? So it's good to memorize, memorize and know it by heart. So even if it takes a long time, like sometimes if you just keep on reciting, even if you don't sit there and try to memorize it rigorously, but just by reciting once. Whole thing, and then if you do it again and again, then it will just stay in your mind, right? And so, Geshe saying that even if it takes 1 month, to memorize one Buddha's name, that's good, or that's okay.
제가 아니 마셔 존재랑도 아니 산지 찍은 센터 로라 지어주나 빼면서 폐치 보인 거래.
And so, before you die, if you can remember at least one Buddha's name, then that's very helpful.
제가 야한테 가디쇼 하고 야.
Quickly, because you never know when you're going to die. Before you die, you should do it, soon.
제가 강도 시가라가야 상제도 상조선배 드린 체지야 선나 체지미시나 제가 심하대 닝에손 로마고 자샤자 타치 조래.
And so if you can memorize one of the Buddha's names, and if you die by remembering that Buddha's name at the time of death, then it's 100% sure that you will not fall into the lower realm.
대 상제가 송샤 대 게 소샤죠 되는 말이.
It's not. I'm not saying it. It's said by Buddha.
다 단대가 쇼신배 pen 상제가 잡는 상 잠고는 뭐지가 저나 시가라가 게슴징인데 저토는 시바였나 아니 제망 손으로 만도 자샤자 타치도 송도 와.
So like our, the living Buddha, like in this world, His Holiness Dalai Lama, also said that if you die, with the virtuous thought at the time of death, then it's 100% sure that you will not fall into the lower realm.
제가 아니 대대 용어라 다는 곰고고인데 아니 다 소소 샘다 녀사가 예담 사실이야 상제지라 딱 곰비치고 그래.
So whether you have the virtuous thought at the time of death or not depends on whether you are familiar with that or not. So you have to make yourself familiar with that, right? So if you are familiar with that, then that's possibility, to have that thought at the time of death.
제가 베벨룩슬라 시가라가야 소소 라마야 아마나 남이 된데야 암존을야 다 저런 걸 사대도 되도 곰 이담대도 곰스 발랍 그래 다 되니까 저랑 동샤기 플라스미 송에 센터도 맞 템바치람나 아니 단단히 템바치면나 이것도 시가라가 된다고 말이야 시마 가르래다.
Like in Tibetan culture or tradition, people, when somebody's about to die, they will, whisper into their ear, to remember the Buddhas, like the Buddha's name, Buddha, and he says you should remember, think about this Buddha, think about that Buddha. But if you haven't memorized or haven't familiarized yourself, with these Buddhas, then you wouldn't know what to think about. If somebody says, "Oh, you should think about the Buddha," then if you don't know what the Buddha is, then you wouldn't know what to think about, right?
제가 단단히 가서 곰자 샴샴 공고거래 니제 공고거래 많은 동고거래 도만 동고 세대 진짜들이래.
And so that's why we have to do this practice on a daily basis so that we can get familiar with this, like reciting the mantras like the genetic mantra or Tara mantra and all this, to get familiar with this so that we'll be able to remember them at the time of death.
뭐 제가 한 삼점 더 남비 추도도 가디나 즉 독사 장장 섬당도 들려 삼고 말이지.
And so sometimes you might think that Buddhism is always talking about negativities.
그리고 땡원에는 직땡 대상 디럽고 직땡은 통고도 와.
But this is what it really gets along with the way things are in this world at this time, right?
근데 저런 게 들이 모터 싸와 싸장시 녀나 녀이 님만 저런 이시는 요거도 와 먹어방아 다바였나 지 차와는 대치하다.
So like the moment you buy a new car, you will buy insurance with that, right? So with the thought that maybe, I'll get into accident or maybe this will break down and at that time, and I'll have an insurance to cover those expenses.
대도 집바 지잖아 봐. 안서 먹어봐 시가 나가 강이 마요지 단단한 장들이 요래. 모다 차트에 갈라 강이 마요지 다리 모다 녀와다 싸와 싸장네 대 차트에 갈라야 로송 땅에 빼서 녀다로.
So it's the same, same like that. It's exactly the same like that. So because thinking that something bad is going to happen in the future, and that's why we do the practice of the Dharma from now on. And just like you buy insurance, soon after you buy a brand new car, you don't really need there's no much risk of breaking down, but you still buy insurance, right? With the thought that something might happen. And therefore, you will need, to have it covered, and you buy insurance, And so from there on, you're not only paying for the car, but you're also paying for its protection.
Okay. 대도 상부단다 대 집바지는 셈라야 미카지야 셈라 지금 저와 맞다 보시나요? 셈라 남도다 막아봐 대말에.
So yeah, so the reason why you buy insurance is because you think something bad will happen. Right? So you again thinking about negativities like that, negative, and so just like that, when you practice Dharma. Something bad may happen, so therefore you have to practice Dharma.
제가 모터 싸워진 요네 셈라야 맞지바지 당한데 가디 차로 그래 쫀션으로 좀 로이 말한가 모터 잡고 땅에 셈 진짜 로이로 와.
So even though you buy the insurance, thinking that something bad might happen and you need it to cover at that time, but when you are driving, you don't think about that, right? You don't worry about it breaking down. You just you feel very happy. Oh, I'm driving a new car like that. So you don't think negativity, right?
어제도 단다다 나다 다와진 조치서 밀리는 보체 톱 다 단단 거는 다리 째버지면 수수 삼 예를 개발에 소소 되잖아 텔레 수수고 가로 가려 가로서 다 리조이체 그래서
So so at this time when you are born,
가와고 그래
when you are born as a human being with all these facilities to practice Dharma, and just having this opportunity to even recite one Buddha's name, you should rejoice over it.
아 저도 타마 명통도 와
You can all see, right?
저도 타마 라반 두니잔도 와 강가도 와
You all move your hands, right?
아니 저도 나고 채며 나고 꼭샤며
You all have your nose.
아니 칼라 카쇼데며
No, it's not lost. You haven't lost your nose, right? And there's no, what do you call that again? I forget. That tear on your lips.
아니 암조 고요
And you're not deaf, right?
제가 누구나 간조라 배 가서 잘라 야부장자다 간조 대시라 토고요 말 제가 간조 대대 전에 내가 간조라 요한테 맹에게 뭐 사똥라 망보요 제가 간조라 야요한테 하고 와지네 소소 이제 가와검 기보지.
So you can feel happy, thinking that, oh, I have this, I have that, all this, and there's so many millions of people who don't have that. So you're very lucky, you have those. You can say, I have that, I'm very lucky. So you can enjoy and be happy like that, thinking like that.
Okay, 대진의 당에 저한테 졸라면 제삼이야. 아니 대바라 개와대 덤나는 야 보여.
And so that whatever I have, I'm not going to waste it. And so by thinking like that, then in between you can try to accumulate some more merits.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, Deborah.
So Geshe, you taught us besides teaching us the names, you also taught us what type of negative action that each Buddha purifies. Is it important to remember that as we're doing the prostrations, or is that not really significant?
대도 바지 전토고 말이 나도 용어 말이 그래도 제가 말이 전토한테 야보러다 다 전토고 말이.
Yeah, it's difficult, of course, it's difficult to remember all that, right, when you're making prostrations. But if you can, of course, that's good.
쟤네 나는 제가 문도 나는 파트 쓰더라죠. 콘데션에 잡는 맛이. 아니 클라들란 차다는 디반데다 저 제가 문도. 내 템발라다 빼 가루 장구 쳐다.
So I can't remember exactly each Buddha. I mean, I'm just thinking like, if I make prostration to these Buddhas, I'll purify negativities credit, from a long time before. So that's all I can remember, but I can't remember exactly by making prostration which Buddha what kind of negative karma I get purified. I don't remember all that, of course not.
야 대체선나 근데 든디게 산지 지기 penye 가상 랍셔와 나지 샘나 템바지 대치보라 차 자스 사와이나 안 바시에 샘 된다 그래.
So for that, you have to really familiarize yourself with that. Like I said, let's say the one Buddha, first Buddha, right? So so you just met the Buddha, which has with the qualities, and you think about the qualities, think about the Pure Land that he lived in, and then what negative karma got purified. So you just think about one Buddha, then you can remember, right? You can remember one Buddha, you can remember, and then just think of making prostration to that Buddha only to that Buddha, like 100 prostration just to that Buddha, and that time maybe you might be able to remember. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
제가 다 드린 인게 지나서 대해서 개오치네 차타다 차랑 차바치 다차 사먹어야 마 되는 더 이잘 지나 지나도 하고 이거래나 딱고 내셔로 이렇게 잘해.
So today we did prostration, right? Actual, standing up and making prostration, and then also we recited by sitting down. So you know it already, but I just thought we'll go through that again.
아니 샤타야 대시다 아니 주보라인 최대야 보시거든요. 주보는 최대의 최대의 삶이 샤타나 야 그런 쪽으로.
And making prostration is very good for your body also, right? It's a very good, exercise, for your body. But again, if you think I'm going to make prostration, to, keep my body healthy, then that's not a good motivation again.
제가 나사들이 나네 도지되는 론이야 차 멈추 산에 나사 자소 생겼더니 마보여. 아니 대련론이 차한테 수보야 보시고 자소 생겼더니 요요.
So like there are people, who have a very severe diseases, and they went to Bodh Gaya and make prostration, like 100,000 prostration, and they got rid of all this disease completely. And then there are some people, who got very good body, like strong and maybe 6 abs, 6 packs. The body.
나도 대브랑도 도지된 좀 도지된 초대가 나라 차창에 간데도.
Oh yeah, so many of you went to Bodh Gaya with Geshe, right? So you saw many people making prostration all around the Bodh Gaya stupa.
제가 지지는 것도 로주마 사가다와는 니말인데 차창에 속어서.
So maybe we should set up a time during the Sakadawa to have a prostration campaign at the Kurukulla Center.
Okay. Any other question? Yeah. That Jennifer.
Geshe, I just had a question about the prostration campaign you were saying during Sakadawa. Do you mean outside near the stupa?
Yeah, outside. Everyone can bring for the day yoga map, then do the prostration that. We don't have to prepare. You can come to it 100 times, 20 times.
Thank you.
Like that. Okay.
That's a wonderful idea. Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, I hope a little bit, you can get some idea. Maybe you already do. You say, I just repeat maybe. Maybe you think, oh, this is not that way. But I try to just like simple way, easiest way. But I'm a very simple person. I want to be a simple one. Therefore, I teach all those simple way. Therefore, I think we are already want to simple. We all want to eat the fast food. We don't want to wear that to half hour, small food, expensive. We just go to the hamburgers, just pick up, eat. Like that, we practice something like that. Okay? Okay. 아니, 다 야부종, 가지 야부종, 알아라 야부종. 아니, 동시에 가루 로그 총송. 아니, 때문에 개와대 사이주래.
All right, so it's been very good. It's been very good to myself, and I had to read, through the 35 Buddha prayer several times, to understand a little bit. So it's been good for myself, and I hope it has been good for all of you.
제가 아니 대단대회 다 들이 차차바나 니마 따봐야. 아니 차차 맡아봐나. 아니 저 뒤에 쇼메 칼라 든타리 용달라 든타리나 아니 동샤 차린 너네 야보지.
And so from now on, from starting from today, you should, try to make the prostrations, to the 35 Buddha. And even if you can't make prostration, you can just at least recite, through the name of the 35 Buddha, the confession part and the dedication part. And at the very least, maybe you can do it once a week, at least once a week.
얘는 또 켈레담에 지락매다야.
I'm not asking to make a commitment, okay? So I'm just advising, giving you advice, but it's up to you, to do or not. I'm not saying that that you should make this commitment.
아니 들이야 샘라야 무슨 토할네. 아니 가만 매치 같이네. 나와 가시게야. 나 영사 말씀 이셔나야. 니바사 그래.
If you can do, of course, it's good to make the commitment. And with the commitment, it's more meritorious. But if you are not sure, then don't make commitment. Today you feel a little bit moved and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do it," and make a commitment. But then after a week or month, then if you stop doing it, then that becomes negative karma. So better not do that.
Okay. Okay, everyone. That's
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you so much, Geshe. You're very, very kind to lead us in this practice. We weren't even supposed to have a class today, but Geshe was so kind to want to give us the opportunity during this merit multiplying period of Sakadawa to lead us in this practice. So thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe. And on behalf of everyone, there is an offering that we're virtually giving to Geshe. And thank you. We absolutely appreciate everything Geshe does for us.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you,
also,
Thank you, Geshe.
yeah, it's good for everyone familiarized. I think Marian also leading for the last some Sundays. It's wonderful. It's very good. You guys very good. I'm very happy for all of you to effort if you talk to everyone. Some people do perfect, some but not possible, but everyone just tries. Very good, you know. I always say, that maybe 200 pounds gold, 100 pound gold, 10 pound gold. You say, I want the only one 100 pounds. You just holding that 10 pounds gone, 200 gone. You just looking for the 100 pounds. You cannot lift, then you don't get anything. Therefore, whatever you can, lift, just you can do that. You don't have to, okay, he does it like that. I want to do like that. It's not like that. He does it like, I want to do that. It's not like that. Everyone's not same. Buddha give also teaching for all different otherwise. Everyone same, he just give one teaching. Okay? And also don't be Carol. How you say? Discourage. Okay, oh, I'm not able to do that. Oh, she's doing that. I'm not able to do that. Don't do that. You are perfect. Okay? You're doing perfect. But Parji Manasa Garo.
Don't be too excited.
Yaro, Kodoje Nandri Chodo Yang Arja Chenaya Dinibashawa.
Yeah, so if you, get too excited and then say, oh, and I can do it, I'm so good at it, like that, then that brings pride or arrogance.
소소 배나 소소고 똥샤 라찌기 미데 롤 섬도나 뱀다 나 까와서 뭐인가 밑에 거나로 단달로 배나 죽주 배나 롱업 주인 배나 댕엘로 섬토에 말 데레 섬토한테 빽 까와서 버려 섬도.
So don't let the arrogance take over, but you can rejoice. Not like, oh, I'm so good, I'm able to do that. Not like that, but oh, I'm so fortunate that I'm able to do this. I haven't been able to do this like last 30, 40, 50 years, but now I'm able to do this. So I'm so good, I'm so happy, like that. You can think like, I'm so fortunate to be able to like remember one name of the Buddhas.
Yeah, usually by myself, I'm not saying I'm good. When I do something to benefit, and I feel very happy. Like example, last night, I went, someone called me at midnight. I'm just get up to go there, I feel very happy. I can do something, someone not able to do it. I can do that. I feel very happy. I'm say, even the midnight, I'm not saying, oh, I'm sleeping too late. I feel very happy, there's some family difficult time, then I just go there and I make them feel too very happy. But I don't have the, how to say,
I didn't have arrogance, but I feel happy that I was able to do that. So same with you. So whatever you can do from your side, you do it, and then be rejoice over that.
They were like, I said like, oh, it's terrible. I'm sleeping. It's too late. Too dangerous to driving. I feel like that. Then I have to go. Then just waste my time. I don't. Can't you give away my
So if you think like that, then there's no virtue. No, there's no virtue.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Anything you do, rejoice. Good things, not bad things. Okay. Anything you do, some benefit, anything, you rejoice. And also, you don't have to do perfect. You go to pick up some trees, some grass. Bring some much you can bring that. Okay, now I'm not talking too much. Otherwise, I'm going to, and then again, long one. I have another prayer from 9 to 10. Okay. Okay, now we pray, dedication pray. Thank you, everyone.
Saji perki ching me tok tron re rapping genie degen padi sange jing du ming te wagi drokun amda jing la chur ponshu jitun lame kutse raptin ching nam katrin le chok chur ge padang lo sang ten pedron me sasungi drove mun sel tak du negyur ching idam guru ratna mandalakam niryatayami. From my two collections, vast as space, that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. Savior of the Snowland teachings and transmigratory beings, who extensively clarifies the path that unifies emptiness and compassion, to the lotus in the hand, Lord Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be fulfilled. You who uphold the subduer's mortal way, who serve as a bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious Supreme Bodhi Mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Nigme tse wei ter chen chen resik, remake yen pei wang po jom del yang, gong chen ge pei tsu gen song ka pa, lo sang ra pei, Jabla Solwade.
Thank you, everyone. This is the commentary for
Thank you.
pray. Okay, I put your hat. Everyone get a hat. Okay.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, Damchala.
Just a few quick announcements. Please check the calendars. A lot going on over the next week. Tomorrow we have Tara Puja at 7. And then on Friday, there's the 8th annual Sakadawa Interfaith Celebration starting at 7:30. That'll be via Facebook Live. And then next Wednesday, which is the actual Sakadawa day, Geshe will be conferring the 8 Mahayana precepts starting at 4:15 a.m., starting very promptly, so come early. And then we'll be doing Medicine Buddha Puja later in the evening at 7.
Okay, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you, Damchala.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Jen.
Good night.